Several years back, I heard a piece put together by Lamar Tyler. I think he's out of the Atlanta area, and he had a theme. It was that the gatekeepers are gone, where we got so many industries where there are gatekeepers that they have to decide whether they let you in, whether they play with you, whether they let you operate in their space. And he said, with the rise of the internet, he said, and with you having the right to go direct to consumer, he says, and the gatekeepers are gone. That was his theory. I'm going to support him in so many ways because he's a business success. But I'm going to say that there's still a few places where there's some gatekeepers. And my theory is that the gatekeepers have to sleep also. So for you to make headway in those industries where the gatekeepers are still prevailing, they got to sleep. And when they sleep, you keep working. There's a online influencer that has grown greatly. His name is Gary V, or Gary Vaynerchuk. And Gary V he said, before the onset of social media being the thing and the rise of the internet, he said he spoke with a group of New York cab drivers, a whole association, and he told them that the internet has the potential to disrupt their industry. And they laughed him out of the room. How do you like those beans now? Who's calling a cab in 2026? So their whole industry has been disrupted because they were gatekeeping. They were asleep on the job. And their industry was disrupted. I made a statement, probably shouldn't have made it in a church setting, but I noted that those who arose to the highest position in the church, that all of them took fanatical, I knew them back when, 30 years back, and all of them took protected their local church's brand fanatically. And is there any wonder? They saw a space. They had to deal with gatekeepers too. But what they found out was that the gatekeeper had to take a nap too. So look, all of these industries got people that are in power. But people that are in power, they get complacent. Preach Steve. They get settled. They are, they're complacent, settled, and they operate with a tad bit of privilege that if you want to get into our thing, you have to bring it by me. And it's nice to have somebody whose foot is in the door, but you have to operate on this premise. I look for people whose foot is in the door, but if I find no one whose foot is in the door, that I'm bold enough to build my own table. And that may take extreme study. You'll have to see the spaces where these guys operate and where they don't. But I promise you, there are gaps. I think Grant Cardone calls it the white space. So the white space is you look for the places where these guys aren't operating. That's either Grant Cardone or Gary Vee. I used to be real big on both of their sauces at one time. But you look for the places where they're not operating. Sometimes even with a move of God. Oh, wow. Eli had sons, Hophni and Phineas. And they didn't do exactly what they should have done. But Eli was the gatekeeper. And scriptures later went on and said that Eli got very comfortable, very settled, very laissez-faire. Eli gained weight. He was fat. He was overweight. And he was the move of God. But the move was out of place. The move was satisfied being the gatekeeper, and the move missed the next place in God. So look, sometimes you can't lament over who is gatekeeping you. Just know that that gatekeeper has to sleep also. Everybody you meet, I used to remember this in sales, that everybody you meet, try to make an impression, whether you sell them or not. They estimate that each person that you meet knows 200 people. And those 200 people know 200 people who know 200 people. So with this 6 degrees of separation, as we used to say, in particular with social media, that's been cut down way. Everybody that you meet is a whole new world. Every opportunity, every day that one door closes, there's another door that springs wide open. So I just got to tell you right now, don't lament about the gatekeepers, because though the gatekeepers have to sleep, and it's in those moments where they do choose to sleep, you find your niche, you find your way to get by them, you find your connect, you find your way to go around them. And I don't think that every gatekeeper is gone just because of the internet. A bunch of them have been cut out. But those that are still in power, they gotta go to sleep. There's always a new market. There's always a new opportunity. AI is bringing a whole new world. Even though they may gatekeep, don't be the person that gatekeeps the old and the new is here. Now that's a word, man. If somebody, the gatekeepers may not be gone, but those, I had a friend, a preacher, his name was Bruce Williams, and he used that word booger. He said, but those boogers, they got to sleep too. So look, I'm telling you right now, don't lament about people gatekeeping you or trying to take you, that you've got to, laugh at stuff that ain't funny and scratch where you don't itch and talk in the voice of a little boy while you're a whole grown man. You don't have to do that with the gatekeepers, because guess what? They have to sleep too, and you got to be intentional to find the gaps, to find the holes, to find the niche, to win, whether they're on your side, whether they let you in or not. Be blessed.